Okay, so this part of the syllabus requires you to think about responses to global warming, and it's at a local, national and international scale. As always with these questions, remember that it will probably specify one of these scales. So if they ask you for local responses, make sure that you talk about local responses. So there are some videos for you to watch, and the first one here is a little campaign in the UK using a character called Morph to try to encourage us to be responding to the challenges of global warming. Watch the video, make some notes on it. Now, there are many reasons why people come up with not responding to global warming. One of them will be it's perfectly natural, it's the Milankovitch cycle, or it's an erupting volcano. Another one could be, well, actually it's not so bad after all, and in fact there are benefits. Here we can see some people in the UK having a lovely holiday on the beach, enjoying the effects of global warming. The other one is, of course, poverty is far more important. We need to deal with that now, and that should be our first priority. Moving on a little bit more, they could say, well, we should just worry about the here and now, and I want to spend the cash and I really don't worry. In the PowerPoint presentation that's on aisle, what you need to do is make a copy of this and add your responses to each of the arguments and pop them in here, both for and against. So each slide will have a box there. Moving on to the next slide, there are 10 ways that at a local level that you can respond to global warming. Jump into the website, open up this website here from World Watch, and then copy and paste them into a Diamond 9 grid. I'm sure you know how to use the Diamond 9 grid. The most important thing goes at the top, the least important things are at the bottom, and then you have lots of medium things in the middle. So completing the Diamond 9 grid, you can access the Diamond 9 grid here, and we'll be going through those in class. Moving on, at a local level, one of the things you can do is you can shop at a local farmer's market. The benefit of this is the food has travelled a lot shorter distance. There's a video here for you to watch. Again, jump in and watch it. Using a local farmer's market is a lot better than using a supermarket because your food will have travelled a shorter distance. You'll also be able to see these farmers markets every Sunday at the central ferry pier terminal, the Star Ferry Pier terminal. Again, there's the video for you to watch. Remember, because it reduces on the amount of transportation, the number of miles the food has travelled, it will save oil and therefore help prevent global warming. You also need to look at national campaigns to stop climate change, and most of the ones that we're going to be looking at are in the book on page 39. Use local farmers markets, we've already talked about those. Reduce your use of luxuries, Jack Johnson, you'll be good to remember that. Get on your bike campaign, and recycling and conservation. A lot of these things we have looked at already. Remember, there is often a conflict, and the conflict is between economic growth and social equality and environmental protection. So particularly economic growth, to have economic growth, some people will think less about environmental protection. Moving on, Hong Kong. Hong Kong's a really interesting one. If you have a look at page 39, figure 11, you will see that people in Hong Kong, in comparison to other developed areas, produce very little carbon dioxide. Specifically look at this photograph and look at the buses. Think why in Hong Kong, per head of population, even though we're very, very rich, we produce comparatively less carbon dioxide. Moving on, there's some great videos for you to watch. Cities in the Sky. Think about the design of our buildings and how this will affect the amount of carbon dioxide that we produce. In fact, it's very efficient living in tall tower blocks because we're all very close together and we have short journeys, and you're tend to forced to use public transport rather than private transport because, well, one of the reasons is there's nowhere to park your car. But also there is a trend in America, and you can see that here, to have rooftop gardens. Rooftop gardens are great because they produce food locally, but also they insulate the building against the very cold weather and very warm weather. A little video there for you to watch on CNN. It will help you to understand some of the things that we've been talking about. Las Vegas. let's have a talk about Las Vegas. Huge city spread over a very large area, low population density, lots of neon lights with the gambling. It's a little bit like Macau but in the desert. Super hot. It's one of the worst places in the environment for global warming. Then there's international action. There's some videos for you to watch. Mainly these are about agreements. Remember, these agreements are very difficult to enforce because there's lots of people there and there is going to be disagreement. There are videos for you to watch. You need to know about the United Nations Climate Change Conference, the Earth Summit in Rio, the Kyoto Protocol, Bali, but the most recent one, which your examiner would really like you to talk about, is the Yokohama Conference, which, if you're listening to this in 2014, is going on at the moment. As always, video there for you to watch, which explains a little bit about Bali and that international action. Okay, you need to make notes on this. You need to be prepared for the lesson because we're going to have a flip lesson next time and we're going to talk about the content. Okay.